Tell me first the vocabulary that you use.
Okay, I used overweight, fast food, soft drink. This is that's what I
First the
use.
vocabulary.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry.
overweight.
Go ahead. Overweight.
Yes, fast food,
Okay.
soft drink,
Okay.
that's what I used in the simple sentence.
All right. So give me your simple sentence for overweight.
Overweight. Okay. The children become overweight because they eat fast food a lot.
All right. Is that a simple sentence?
Children become overweight. Yes.
No. Let's look at it. What did we say a simple sentence was last week? One.
It's one subject, two verb.
Well, it could be one subject, two verb. It could be just one subject and one verb too, right?
Okay.
Right.
Because it's a verb in the sentence. Okay, I understand.
All right, so let's look at what you have. So read that sentence again.
The children become overweight.
Children became overweight
Because they eat fast food a lot.
because they, you say they what?
They eat
They what? Okay, okay, because okay, that's fine.
fast food a lot.
A lot of fast food.
Fast food.
Okay. All right. Now, this is a sentence for sure. It's a good sentence, but it is not a. But it's not a simple sentence. Remember last week we said the simple sentence should have one idea. One idea. Okay. That means that one idea means you could have one subject
And one verb.
or one subject and two. All right. Remember,
Yes.
subject, it could be subject, verb, subject, verb, verb. You can even have subject, subject, verb, verb, which would be SSVV. So let's look at examples. Mary and Michelle That's still one idea. Because you got subject, verb, verb, eats and buys. Mary eats, I'm sorry. You got Mary and Michelle eat.
This is me. Thank you.
Eat and buy a lot of candy. Subject, verb, verb. SSV. Okay. Still, all of these are simple sentences. All of these are simple sentences. Okay.
Okay. Dr. Ray?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear this.
I don't know, that was weird. All right, let's go back. Hopefully we didn't lose our board. We lost our board. Daggone it. All right, give me your sentence again. We lost our board.
Okay. The children became overweight because they eat fast food a lot.
Okay. So children is your subject. Then became is your verb.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so here, this is a clause. This is a clause here. Okay. This is what we call an independent clause. This is an independent clause. Why is it independent? Because it's a simple sentence. It's a complete idea. The children became overweight. All right. You could put a full stop right there. Right here, you could put a full stop. Okay. So this is your simple sentence right here. The children became overweight. However, you added another clause. You added a dependent clause. And the dependent clause you added is because they eat a lot of fast food. Now, you might say, what is the difference between an independent clause and a dependent clause? Well, an independent clause is a complete idea. It's a complete idea. Okay. And a dependent clause is an incomplete idea that modifies, and remember we saw that word before, right? Modify a
Yes.
complete idea. And all modify means, when your teacher says modify, all your teacher is talking about is give you more information about. So when you see modify in grammar or when you're learning languages, all we mean when the teacher says modify is give you more information. It gives you more information. So what dependent clause, what they do, what dependent clauses do is give you more information about the independent clause. Okay. The independent clause is the complete idea. Now, remember we talked about subordinating conjunctions?
Yes.
Remember we had, well, because is a subordinating conjunction. My spelling is terrible, subordinating. All right, subordinator. All right, you remember we said the subordinators do what? They make independent clauses, if you remember from last week, they make independent clauses dependent. And here's an example of that. Now look at this. They eat a lot of fast food. That's a independent clause. However, when I put because in front of it, it now turns this independent clause into a dependent clause. Okay. So dependent clause, so what subordinators do is make independent clauses dependent. All right,
Okay.
that's what subordinators do. So remember, this is a conjunction. It's a subordinating conjunction. And all they do is help make dependent clauses that give you more information than the independent clause. Okay, so this is a modifier. These clauses are modifiers. They give you more information about what's going on in the main clause. The children became overweight is the main clause. Well, why did the children become overweight? Well, the children became overweight because they eat a lot of fast food. So this is a complex sentence that you gave me. It's a complex sentence, not a simple. Okay. This is a
Okay.
complex. So if you want to make it a simple sentence, all you have to do is say children became overweight. And that's your simple sentence because you have one idea. One subject. And verb. Okay, one idea. Okay. Now let's go back to that complex sentence again. You're going to notice something here. And you're going to need this for, this is good information for when you start school. In a complex sentence, when the independent clause comes first, so the sentence you gave me, the independent clause came first. When the
Yes.
independent clause comes first, you do not need a comma. Okay, you do not need a comma. Okay. However, when the independent, when the dependent clause comes first, because the children eat a lot of fast food, because the children eat a lot of fast food, they became overweight. Now, this is still the independent clause because it's still the main clause. Right? But now you have your dependent clause first. Right? Now notice, when the dependent clause comes first, what happens?
We use comma.
Add a comma. You're going to need that for, that's going to be on some examples or in quizzes. Okay. So in a complex sentence, the independent clause can come first or second. All right. Oh, well, let me say that. Let me explain that better. When the independent clause when the independent clause comes first, no comma. All right, no comma, no comma. All right, when the dependent clause comes first, comma. Okay? That's something, that's a little small little thing that you need to know. Okay?
Okay.
All right, let's try your second simple sentence.
Okay. The school manager
The school manager
tried to sell healthy meal in the school.
the school manager tries to sell healthy
Meals in the school.
meals in the school. All right, do you think that's can I spell or can I not spell? Hold on, so how do you spell healthy? Well, okay. Jeez, sometimes my brain just dies on me. Hello.
Yes.
So the question is, the answer is yes or
Mm,
I'm sorry. Always came out again. Wow. I know we can do this. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to double check one thing. I think this is probably from. What is going on?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's go back to, what was that sentence you gave me again?
Mm, the school manager tries to sell
This-
healthy meals in the school.
All right. So is this a simple sentence? Is this a simple sentence?
Yes, I think.
All right. What is your subject?
The school manager
School manager. What's your verb?
tries.
Right. Is this one idea?
No,
Huh?
it's the school manager. Yes, one idea.
One idea. Yes, one idea. So yes, this is a simple sentence. This is a simple sentence. Right? Now, simple sentences can be short or they can be long. The main thing is that they follow subject, verb, subject, verb, subject,
Verb.
and subject, verb. They follow those, okay? And there should be no conjunctions. No conjunctions, right? If it's a conjunction, then you know it cannot be a simple sentence, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's give me your third sentence.
My brother always
My brother always
watch a healthy program in the morning.
my brother always
Watch
watches, because you got one subject, one verb. So this singular watches. My brother
healthy
always watch healthy programs.
in the morning.
All right. My brother always watches healthy programs in the morning. Is this a simple sentence?
Yes.
You got one subject, one verb, one idea. All right. Now let's look at this simple sentence. You got a prepositional clause, right? Excuse me, a prepositional phrase right here.
Yes.
All right. Now, what is a phrase? We talked about a phrase. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We talked about a clause. And we said a clause is what? What is a clause? A complete idea. All right.
Yes.
A clause can be a sentence. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong. Teacher told a lie. Teacher told a lie. A clause, it could be a complete idea. A clause is a idea with or idea that includes a verb. All right. An idea that includes a verb, normally a subject and a verb, but definitely a verb. Okay. That idea can be independent or dependent. Okay. Because you can have an independent clause or you have a dependent clause. Remember, an independent clause is a clause that can stand by itself. It's a sentence. It's a complete idea. The children eat healthy. Okay. The children eat healthy is a complete idea. However, if I say because the children eat healthy, that's now what? An incomplete idea because you didn't give me all the information. So that because makes it dependent. So dependent means it cannot, that clause cannot stand alone. It cannot be alone. But all clauses have a verb. Most of the time they have a subject and a verb. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, there's two different types of clauses. Well, you're going to hear different types of clauses, but the main ones we need to know for right now is the independent clause and the dependent clause. Every one other clauses, they're offshoots of those clauses. Okay. Independent clause can stand by itself. It's like a sentence. The children are overweight. The children are overweight. The children are overweight. That's an independent clause. Because the children are overweight. That's a dependent clause.
Dependent clause, yes.
Let's see another. When the children come, when the children are overweight, when the children are overweight, that's a dependent clause. When the children are overweight, the children are overweight, independent. When the children are overweight, dependent. Okay.
Yes.
Having technical difficulties today. Okay. Now let's look at a phrase. A phrase are modifying or a group are how can we say this? Phrases are modified. A group of words that modify. All right. And remember, don't be afraid when you see this word modify. It just means to give more information.
Okay.
All right. A group of words that modify. In the store. At my house. Under the table. Now notice, in the store, at my house, under the table, they're not complete ideas. There's no subject or verb there, right? In
Yes.
any of these, so they're not sentences. They're not clauses, but they are modifiers. Notice there are no verbs that in either one of these phrases, but they tell us something. All of these are what we call prepositional phrases, and they're different types of phrases. You got noun phrases. Okay. Adverbial phrases. All right.
Yes.
Really simple. Here, preposition. Why? If you remember when we talked about prepositions, all of these show what? They show what? These modifiers show what? What do
Place.
prepositions? Place, direction. Direction or place. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then we have adverbials to show how much or to show how rather. Okay. All right. So, and once you understand what a phrase does, it doesn't matter what type of phrase it is, right? Because you know that that phrase is there to modify.
Yes.
Okay. Give me your next sentence.
My brother. Okay. I walk to the school.
I walk to the school
to maintain my waist.
I walk to school to maintain my weight. All right. Good. This is also a simple sentence. You got a subject, you got a verb. Now, this is the interesting thing about it is look at all these words, right? But this is your main clause right here. That's your main clause. I walk. Everything else are modifiers to the school. That's this
Direction.
is a phrase. To maintain. That's what we call an infinitive. My weight. All right. And that's also modified. Okay. Okay. All of these are modifying the main clause here. I walk. I walk where? To the school. Why? To maintain what? My weight. You see?
Yes, I see.
This is how we build good sentences. I walk where? To the school. To do what? Or why? To maintain what? My weight. Okay? And that's all, these are all the simple sentences. It's simple. Why? Because there's one simple subject, one simple verb, and it's one idea. No conjunctions. Okay. Is there another sentence or is all that sentences you wrote?
I have another, but I don't think it's a simple sentence.
Okay, let's try. Let's look at it. Let's see what it
Okay.
is.
The parent
The
satisfied
parents,
satisfied their children
the parents satisfied. Let's see. The children
to eat fast food.
Now, what do you mean by satisfied?
I mean, they don't say for their children, don't eat that.
All right, so the parents satisfy the children by, I think what you mean is by giving them fast food. I think that's what you mean. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Now, we can say this a little bit better. We could say the parents gave the children fast food to satisfy them. The parents gave the children fast food to satisfy them. Okay. This is a little bit, this is a passive sentence. Anytime you see the word by, it's passive. Now, passive sentences are not wrong, but sometimes they can be a little confusing. So we try to speak in the active voice. Okay. The parents gave the children fast food to satisfy them. And that is a simple sentence because we got subject, verb. Yeah, subject, verb, and then this is your object, fast food. To satisfy them, all right? And this is what? Okay. That's a phrase, right?
Yes.
So yes, you got one idea. So, and it's a simple sentence. All right,
Yes.
is that the last sentence?
Yes, that's the last sentence.
All right, so let's look at your first, look at your second sentence. Oh no, look at your first sentence. And I want you to make your first sentence a compound sentence. Now remember, let's look at the fanboys. And these, what type of conjunctions are these that compound sentences need? Compound sentences need what type of conjunctions? Coordinating.
Oh, yes.
You need, remember, compound sentences need coordinating conjunctions, not subordinating. What are the coordinating conjunctions?
Compound sentence.
What are the coordinating conjunctions?
The coordinating conjunction, it's a compound sentences.
Coordinating conjunctions make compound sentences. Coordinating conjunctions make compound sentences. Coordinating conjunctions make compound sentences. My question is, What are the coordinating conjunctions? What are the coordinating conjunctions?
Uh,
Can you hear? Remember we talked about it last week?
yes, the fun boy.
So what are they? F is for what?
4
A is for what?
and
N is for what?
nor,
B is for what?
but,
O is for what?
or,
Y is for what?
yet,
S is for what?
so,
When do we use for?
for reason,
And
and for adding information,
more information. Nor,
nothing,
right, 0. But,
dif um, definition,
different, so different ideas, right?
yes,
Or opposite idea. So you got, remember, you have 2 clauses. One clause is going to be the opposite of the other. I like candy, but I don't eat it. Okay.
yes,
Or is what?
choices,
Yet is what?
orny,
Irony. That's something strange. In fact, the one I just gave you, I like candy, yet I don't eat it. So a better one for but I like candy, but my mother tells me not to eat it. That maybe. I like candy, but my mother tells me not to eat it. I like candy, yet I don't eat it. That's strange. You like candy, but you don't eat it yet. Irony. Irony. The man was fat, yet he won the race. The man was fat, yet he won the race. That's irony. Why? He's fat. You don't think the fat man's going to win the race, right? Irony. And so is what?
effect,
Cause and effect. Causes effect is um uh, I cut myself, so I went to the hospital. I cut myself, so I went to the hospital. Why did you go to the hospital? Or he cut himself. The effect of cutting himself is what? He had to go to the hospital. I cut myself, so my fingers started to bleed. Cause and effect. I cut myself, so my fingers started to bleed. Okay.
yes,
So here's the last thing we're going to do today. Take one of your sentences, any of your sentences, and I want you to use any one of the fanboys. Can you do that right now for me?
okay. Okay, my mother
My mother
tells my brother
tells my brother
to walk to the school
to walk to the school
or use a bike,
or
use a bike.
okay, use a
We need the subject, right?
yes, we need a subject.
Or he
Uh-huh. Should.
use a bike.
Or you can say should, you can say can. Can might be even better. So he can use a. So let's look at this. My mother, subject, tells verb,
Verb.
right? Then you got your clause, the rest of your modifiers. My mother tells my brother to walk to the school. That's a simple sentence. Good. Then you have your conjunction,
Or
right? And then right after your conjunction, you should have a subject, right?
and
And then
verb.
you have verb can use, and then you have the rest of your idea, your object. This is your object here. Okay, so yes, this is a compound sentence. My mother tells my brother to walk to the school, or he can use his bike, or he can use a bike or his bike. All right,
Yes.
he can use a bike is what? In this sentence, it's a clause, right?
Yes.
Because it's an independent clause, right? It's an independent clause, right? Why is it an independent clause?
Uh,
Because
it's
what?
it's independent clause.
Because
It's have a subject and verb.
and remember, dependent clause has a subject verb too. And it is a,
Complete idea.
there you go. There you go. Very good. It's an independent clause because it has a subject and verb, and it's a complete idea. Okay. All complete ideas, for the most part, will have a subject and verb. There's some times they don't, but 99.9% of the time, all complete ideas will have a subject and a verb.
Verb.
Now, this is why for your speaking part, this is why I'm always going to challenge you to speak in complete sentences. Okay. I will always challenge you to speak in complete sentences. This helps you with your writing. It helps you with your thinking. It helps you communicate better. It's always best to speak in complete sentences. So for everyone, I even tell native speakers this. Speak in complete sentences. Where are you going to go? To the store? No, no. Where are you going to go? I will go to the store.
Or
And the reason why you should do that, even native speakers, is because it helps you communicate better, number one. And number two, it helps you become a better writer. It helps you become a better writer because what happens is you're continuously practicing your grammar. So when you go to, and you're practicing how, more important than the grammar, way more important than the grammar, you're practicing how to tell a story. You're practicing how to express an idea. All right. And
yes.
most of the time, we're expressing ideas verbally with our mouth, not with our pen. So we must be able to practice speaking more because that's what we do more. And that's the best way that we communicate ourselves. It's an effective way to communicate ourselves. But the great thing about it is if you speak like you write, you will be an effective communicator. You want to speak like you write, not write like you speak. You want to be able to speak like you write, not write like you speak. Okay, so it's always good to speak, or it's more effective to speak in complete sentences. And remember what I said last week. Do not be afraid to speak slowly. Think about what you want to say. Okay. Think about what you want to say. Use complete sentences. Simple sentences are always the best, but sometimes you have to use a compound sentence.
Compound.
Sometimes you have to use a complex sentence. I will go to the bank because I need to show them my ICAMA. I will go to the mall because I need to return my pants. My family will travel to the UK next week. They will return in 3 weeks. It's always better to speak in complete sentences. You sound very intelligent, and people will trust you more when you speak in complete sentences. And you speak slowly, pronounce your words, think about what you want to say. Also, when you speak in complete sentences, you tend not to make logic mistakes because you're thinking about what you want to say. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So here's what I want you to do today rather. I want you to watch the news. I want you to watch the news for at least 10 minutes. And I want you to write one paragraph about what you heard on the news. So I want you to watch the news. You can watch it in Arabic, you can watch it in English, you can watch it in Spanish, Russian, but you're going to write what you heard in English. Okay? And I want you to write one paragraph, at least 4 sentences, at least 4 sentences about what you heard, about what you heard. You can watch the news on YouTube, on Twitter, on the television, okay? But I want you to watch the news for 10 minutes and write 4 sentences, one paragraph about what you heard. So tomorrow, we will look at that paragraph and start talking about how to write a paragraph. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay?
Okay, goodbye.